A woman is asking where her relatives' remains are after a tombstone was unearthed in New Iberia, but no corpse with it.
Meanwhile, the Rose Hill Cemetery says they've done all they can. News 10's Nils Rang explains.
In 2008, when Lisa Hale Gallagher's father was being buried, a tombstone was uncovered and moved so that the burial could continue. This disturbed grave has disturbed Lisa Gallagher ever since.
Pretty much like burying my father all over again.
For 13 years, Lisa Hale Gallagher has been questioning if her father was buried in another relative's grave. Rose Hill Cemetery operator Don Rutherford said even the Louisiana State Cemetery Board has heard her complaints concerning her father's burial in 2008 and what was found in his final resting place.
The cemetery was aware that a headstone had been dug up when her father was buried. They checked, the contractors, for any remains or anything, and there was nothing located at that point in time.
The worn tombstone seems to read William Walter Sorrells, a family name for the Hale family, which Gallagher said kept extensive records of who they've buried.
To have your own relatives dug up, and then they placed my father in a grave. I don't even know what they did with my great-grandfather's remains.
You don't think that her grandfather was buried there?
We have no records of it. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't. He had there was no remains found at that spot. I'll put you that away.
So would there be remains to find after 126 years of decomposition? We reached out to a forensic anthropologist with the University of Louisiana at Lafayette for her expert opinion.
You wouldn't expect it to just fully disappear after 126 years. There should definitely be some evidence that firstly that Earth was moved to inter a person. There should be the potential for the recovery of accoutrements associated with mortuary ceremonialism, a casket, anything interred with the body, the clothes they were wearing, buttons. So it's really possible the tombstone could have been moved.
According to the cemetery, their limited records did not have the 1882 tombstone listed anywhere.
I'm not saying that there wasn't some records back in the 1800s weren't kept well, but I can't correct them any kind of way, because we don't have any records.
And all the turmoil is making it difficult for her and her family to rest in peace.
To me, when they found that headstone, they should have stopped digging right away, knowing that their records were off, that they didn't know who was buried where. And when they found that headstone, they should have stopped digging.
That tombstone missing its namesake is by her father's side still. That's how Gallagher said she wanted it. Reporting in New Iberia, Nils Rang, KFY News 10.